Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm dear darling. I shall see what's going on on our lovely island of Fawnhollow today, where we'll be. I don't really know what we're going to be talking about today. I don't have something particularly in mind to talk about. You know, should we go on the old Reddit, see if there's any gaming news? I'm just like, oh yeah, I should talk about that. But nothing is particularly coming to mind. I don't even know if anything particularly big's happening. Like all the sales are over. If anything, now is kind of a point where things have stopped happening. You know, that we had our bit of stuff happening, and now it's gone again until. I don't know, I guess Christmas, I suppose. I mean, I say until Christmas as if it's like some dismissive thing, but you know, Christmas is a rather big celebration in many parts of the world. So, you know, big for many different reasons. Anyway, good evening, everyone. Right now in Fawnhollow, it's 7:15 PM on Tuesday, November 29th, 2022. Today is Nancy, the other visitor staying at a campsite. I feel like it's been a while since the last campsite visitor, but maybe not. I don't even remember who was our last campsite visitor, to be perfectly honest. But we are going to do a vibe out as per usual. I don't know. Really, nothing's coming to mind to talk about. And then we got to turn to our old friend Bluey to prompt an episode discussion. Just through the top episodes of Bluey. Hold on, you know, I'm going to commit to this bit, and you're going to find it absolutely not hilarious. You're going to find it absolutely what's like the opposite? Not hilarious. More like tired, I suppose. Seems like I'm in baby race. I don't even know how to make a conversation out of baby race. I suppose like crawling and walking. Like when did you first learn to walk? Or crawl as a baby? You might be like, I don't remember. In which case that's kind of fair because, you know, you were a baby. And isn't it something like your permanent memories don't start forming until like you're 4 or something? Actually, that's another thing I heard about babies is that like it's about the age of 4 is when not that babies start developing a personality. It's not like the way I want to phrase it, but it was the way I was going to say it. It's like 4 is the age when you start to find out about a child's personality, is when their personality starts to show through or something. I don't know how true that is, to be fair to you. It might be like the truest thing ever. People, you know, you might be a parent, you might have a 4-year-old child, have raised a 4-year-old child and be like, so true, that's exactly what around the rough time that happened for my child. Or if you take a statistical average of all the children I've had or been in contact with, that's basically when their personality started showing. It's not like a personality wasn't showing before. It's not like, you know, 3-year-olds don't have a personality, then it's their 4th birthday and like poof, they have a personality. It's more like the personality that forms the core of who they are, or something like that. Starts to show around 4 years of age, which I don't know. I don't know how true that is, but that's certainly quite interesting. I can't say much to my own regard of, you know, how true that is. If anything, I'd have to get like ask my parents and be like, yo, how was I when I was 4? And they'd be like, I don't know if they'd say anything or whatever, but maybe they would, who knows. But yeah, if you wonder why I'm talking about that, it's because baby race is all about like the child learning to walk and the mum getting kind of competitive about it. And, well, that's a weird way to put it. That kind of like makes it sound like it's competitive baby rearing, which is, no, rearing's not really the right word. Raising, I suppose. Rearing's much more used to animals, isn't it? Which is weird that we have different sort of words used for these sort of things. Like, I don't even know what rearing's meant to, where the origin of the word rearing even comes from, but whatever. I guess you could rear a child. It just sounds, I don't know, raise a child sounds like the more preferred phrase rather than rear. But I don't know necessarily why. It's just, I guess, because it's got the association of animals in the first place. Anyway, I'm not like competitive baby raising. It's not like competitive baby raising or anything like that. It's just like, you know, the worry as a parent that you're not doing a good enough job. So, you know, you start to seek the affirmation from these accomplishments and achievements, and the mild sort of analogy of wanting your child to be the best they can be, and that sort of thing, and you know, the untoward pressure that comes from it, from both being a parent and a child. Or I suppose a child being like a baby is kind of like blissfully unaware. But yeah, I don't know when I learnt how to walk. I don't think I learnt particularly early or anything, or like to crawl particularly early. I think basically I spoke about an average age and I walked about an average age. You know, maybe something in my brain is like, I think I spoke a little bit earlier than usual and I walked a little bit later than usual or something like that. I don't know how true that is. Maybe that is, maybe that's not, but you know. But there's a thing with like babies, it's like we hit different milestones, right? You know, there's a milestone of, you know, when a baby's first born, it just sort of sits there and it cries or whatever, and at some point it opens its eyes. I literally don't know the sort of time frame that happens in. I assume within the first day, within the first, I'm going to say first few hours, because I don't know, not all newborn babies, you just kind of see a little bit with their closed eyes, but I assume within the first few days. the baby will open its eyes and open their eyes, and we'll be like, wow, it's a baby. But there's other things as well, like a baby, you know, being able to like look at you, I think, or like look at something you're holding, I think, or I don't know, object permanence, I guess, is one. That's a thing where like they understand that you don't disappear when you play peekaboo. Which I don't know what age that's developed at, I'm going to be perfectly honest, but you know, there's also another thing like a baby being able to like roll over, sit up on themselves, wiggle about or something. Crawl, of course, is a big, like crawling and walking are definitely the big ones, which I think most people know about, which I don't even know why people know about so like ubiquitously. I guess arbitrarily some milestones in a baby's career is the wrong word, life is just by significance going to be more important than the others. And I guess walking is a pretty good one, but isn't it kind of weird how big an emphasis we put on walking? Not like in real life, obviously, you know, walking is a pretty useful way to locomote yourself from one place to another, but it's not like the only way, to be perfectly honest. But it's sort of just like, I mean, like for the first like baby steps, you know, etc., like the first steps that a child takes are significantly more important than like most things. It's always the first word they say and the first step they take, which is a bit strange because the first step they take, I don't know. Like, obviously, logically, I'm not saying this like as a robot being like beep beep. I don't understand why humans get emotionally attached to their children. Like, obviously, you know, I can imagine myself, you know, getting, you know, seeing my child start to walk or something and begin to walk, and I'm just, you know, getting very emotional and being like a very cheerful and happy about the entire thing. But it's sort of like, why that one arbitrarily? I don't know. Like you would have thought any movement at all should be celebrated more than I suppose than walking necessarily, or I guess walking is a significantly harder thing to do. That's why I don't know. It's just like, is it arbitrary which ones we're not celebrating? Like, why not when the first time a child can properly hold something, I suppose, of its own accord, or when a child like recognizes its own name? I guess those are kind of arbitrary, like difficult to judge when they're happening. Well, maybe not the first one, but the second one certainly is a bit difficult to judge whether a child like recognizes its own name or something. Perhaps the child does, perhaps the child doesn't. Who knows? I don't know what age that sort of starts happening. Yeah, is that before or after children start speaking? They can recognise their own name. I don't know. Because I mean, people describe pets as having like the intelligence of like an equivalent human child or so, that sort of thing. But I guess you can kind of think of it the other way. Like some dogs are there. You know, people are just like, oh, you know, has some smart dogs, I'd imagine, have like the intelligence of a young child or something like that. But yeah, if you think about it, it goes the other way, which is kind of weird to think about, you know. Like thinking about it in the animal to human direction is like, oh yeah, that makes sense. But thinking about it in the human to animal direction is a bit weirder. Despite the fact I've probably had more contact with a dog, like all dogs in my life, compared to like 2-year-olds in my life. Well, actually, that's not technically true, because I guess when I was 2, I probably went to like a nursery or kindergarten, I suppose, and probably, you know, interacted with a lot of 2-year-olds. So okay, maybe that's a moot point. But like as an adult, I suppose right now, just because I don't, you know, have a child, and I don't have any like close family members or friends with particularly young children. Well, I've got a family friend with some young children, although they're not young anymore, which is weird to think about. Time flies. But it's not like I'm raising them. Like I only see them like at special occasions, so that's probably amounts to maybe like twice. Not even twice a year anymore, like once a year maybe, at most. But dogs, you know, well, yeah, again, I don't even have a dog, so maybe this is a bit moot point in the first place. But I'd imagine for the average person, what, is that true? I was going to be like, the average person has probably interacted more in their lifetime, more of an adult life with a dog than necessarily with a young child. But obviously not an average person. I mean, like, sort of, I guess, you know, I'm sort of skewing the demographics in my favour. Oh, childless, but has a dog. Obviously, we're going to, you know, interact with a dog more than we're going to interact with, like, a baby. That's just, like, kind of a given. I mean, it's not that common that unless you are a parent or, like, a grandparent or you're a very close relative of someone who is a parent, you don't really interact with, like, a newborn child all that often, do you? Because you're not one raising them. Like, that's kind of, like, on the parents, I suppose, that will have hopefully will have a first and foremost most interaction with their child, and then you know, depending on where you are in the sort of like family hierarchy, is like when you start getting more and more privilege is not really the right word. I don't know why I'm such weird word choice I'm using today. Anyway. A child crawling, a child walking, a child speaking, both very monumental occasions. You might be like, what was your first word, dear darling? I think my first word was ba. Or ma. I don't remember. That's mum and dad in Chinese. Or dad and mum, I suppose, respectively in Chinese. Ma. And ba. Actually, technically, mama and baba. I suppose if you want to call it mummy and daddy. But, yeah. I mean, unsurprisingly, it's probably my first word. It's like mum and dad are probably like 99% of the time, like the first word a child says. I don't know if that's true. Don't like quote me on that. Let's see. Hold on. First word statistics for babies. Hello. We got oh yeah, Nick Friday's sale. Has this like Thanksgiving mural always been a thing? I don't remember seeing it before, but it's also been like, I guess I missed Turkey Day this year, didn't I, in Animal Crossing, now I think about it. According to surveys, more than 50% of parents believe their babies are speaking their first words by 10 months. That seems quite early. 10 months? That's crazy. Babies are so smart. On the same survey, it found about 25% of babies haven't spoken by their first birthdays. The most common first words for babies. Pop, sugar, family. Absolutely. This is the sort of rigorous website I want to be able to learn my baby information. Up top there's just Harry Styles just thrusting in midair. Okay. Is this... There's not even an article here. Okay. It's not even found anymore. The most and least common first words across the world. Why would you even write about the least common first words? Like, the least common first words is probably like, I don't know, centurion, or like some really difficult word, a soliloquy, that like a child probably couldn't even say or even understand conceptually. A child can understand the concept of a parental figure in their life, but can a child understand the aria of a solo? No, that's not what soliloquy is. What's a soliloquy? Soliloquy is that poem structure? That 14... No, that's a sonnet. Hold on. What is a soliloquy? A solo song, isn't it? No, a solo speech or something. Nah, it's been a while since I've done English. I don't remember. Speaking one's thoughts aloud when by oneself, regardless of any hearers, especially by a character in a play. Okay. In a play? A play. That's actually something. I can't remember what it was off the top of my head anymore, but there was something I was thinking about maybe while I was going to bed. Of like, for things that was like GCSE knowledge, things that was like I learned in high school, and I was just like, oh, I literally actually can't remember anything about this anymore. Oh, it was about moment of inertias. No, I couldn't remember anything about it, but, you know, back in school, it was just like you had to learn these moment of inertias with certain shapes, and then, you know, I was thinking about it again because I saw it on a video or something, and I was like, man, I just can't remember, like, what any of the moment of inertias are anymore. Weird. I know, that's got nothing to do with anything, I thought you'd like to know that. Where you just be like, oh, I really wonder what, you know, Dear Darling's knowledge is about moment of inertias is. I know the concept, but I just don't remember all of them. Most popular first words in each country. Mummy, 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 mummy. And then in Spain, China, France, South Korea, Turkey, Croatia, and Canada is daddy of some variation. Interesting. What is that? Because in the Chinese one we have daddy and we have baba, which is of course how you say daddy. And then I have no idea what they've written next to it. It's not even a traditional version of the traditional script of baba. I have no idea what that is. So unsurprisingly, it seems to be mum and dad. Apparently in Israel it's car. In Denmark it's hey. In Australia it's jam. It's an English-speaking country. I don't know why it would be necessarily different unless there's, I don't know, strong promotion, I suppose, for the jam society. It's not really a word. The jam business. So what's the word? I was like franchise. Grandma and agree. Is this real? Whoa. 12 out of 33 countries is mummy. 7 out of 33 is daddy, and then the other percent is the other percent. Why is jam in Australia? Car in Israel? I don't know how to read that, unfortunately, so I can't say. I just want a different family member name. Really? Wow. I mean, it's probably some sort of things where maybe babies could speak earlier, but they just don't choose not to until they want to, so that's probably how they get, like, more difficult words being said. Most unique first words in each country. China is wishy-washy. Shudan. What? Am I reading that right? That can't be should. That doesn't make any sense. That's not even what wishy-washy would mean. So I think I read this wrong. Hold on. To Google Translate, this is important to me and to no one else. So that's why I'm looking it up. Oh, it's definitely sure. Sure, Dan. Yes, but. Why is that wishy-washy? Why is wishy-washy? Wishy-washy in Chinese. Docho shang an. What? I'm suddenly a lot more doubtful of the legitimacy of these claims now, after looking into the Chinese one. Also, what is it in Japanese? At least I can kind of read Japanese. It's not even here. What is going on? I don't even understand what's going on. Water? Most popular words as babies grown up. It's still car for Israel. It's wild to hear. What on earth is going on? Methodology. We then used Google Translate Chinese word parser and word reference to translate each word into English. From Stanford Word Bank, a complete list of all words spoken by babies in each country. I didn't know Stanford had this. Wordbank.stanford.edu. Well, at least you said your method, you know. Credit to you. Here I was criticising your methods, being like, where are your sources? But, you know, you actually kind of put your sources here. You didn't put your methodology or anything. I want to see a written paper, published, peer-reviewed. But, I mean, it doesn't surprise me that there would be a difference in first words between, like, different countries, because different languages have like different syllables which are probably easy to pronounce and much more ubiquitous in the language in the first place, because babies are just like mimic machines, right? You gotta hear the noise to be able to recreate it, I suppose, in the first place. So the more they hear the noise, the more comfortable they're going to be at saying it, I assume. So that's probably why I'd imagine certain languages just have a certain favour for certain words, right? So probably the languages where Mummy said most, like, I mean, I guess ma, the M sound's quite an easy sound to make for a child, but it's not like P or B. It's not that like pa. That no, I don't know. Maybe plosive is a bit more difficult, but maybe just in those languages it's a bit more common. Which weird to think, because I think in Chinese I'd imagine ma's probably a lot more common than the ba sound. Is it? I don't know. Because I was gonna say, because ma is kind of sounds similar to a questioning particle. But ba is also quite similar to like an emphasis particle in the first place, so I don't know. Which syllable would appear most often. And maybe it's just arbitrary in the first place. Maybe it's a cultural difference. I don't know. Who knows how things go? And maybe there's no statistical significance to it at all, and it's all just sort of like noise in the end. Oh, I forgot we had a campsite visitor today. Might as well look. Even though, you know, we're never inviting people to Fawnhollow again. But you're welcome to stay here. Who do I think it's going to be? I think it's going to be O'Hare. One day you're going to get this guess right, and it's going to be absolutely insane. It is... I know your name. No, I don't. Not off the top of my head. Cranston, I do know your name. Well, okay, it's unsurprising that I know all of the Animal Crossing villagers' names now. I just will not be able to think of them at every opportunity, depending on how often we run into them. But there you go, first words. I don't know, what was your first word? Was your first word car? Jam? Grandma? I forgot the other ones, to be honest. The other stranger ones. Stranger things. Maybe not. I don't know what most complicated first word there is. That is a legitimate first word by a child. What most complicated one is. I don't know. Oh, now I think about it, it's probably someone who might have grown up mute or something. And then as an adult was no longer mute. Okay, fair enough. You know what? Anyway, I'm going to round off this episode here. Anyway, that was just a thought experiment. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been there, darling. Any likes, comments, subscription, shares are greatly appreciated. Discord, Twitter down below. Hope we can see each other again. But for now, it's our farewell. So until next time. That's not a wave goodbye button. Now I'm not even looking at you anymore. How rude. Bye bye for now.